Hopefully nobody desensitized them to a flag. Once they're desensitized to it, it doesn't work as good. This. I got just a little bit of tension on him, and I want him to walk towards this
scary object. So he didn't. So I'm going to start throwing energy into his hip and draw it back out his face. And I'm doing that with my body, but the flag is running interference. So we've got to get his mind to work through that obstacle of the fear, but yet still respond to the task. So I want to see what happens when I add the fear. So starts coming, I take it away. So rather than desensitize, I teach him to seek out intention. Even though it's a scary object, there is an intention behind everything. Sometimes it's to just sit there and be nothing, like a rock's intention is to just sit there. Wait for someone to pick it up and move it if it's in the way. They have no outward ambition, but some things do. And he needs to know how to figure that out. And so here, it's scary to him, but when it starts speaking to him and it's having a conversation, he's gonna relax that much faster. So here I'm gonna ask him to move over. Now he had a hard time even without a flag. So I say I wasn't expecting him to run off, but at the same time, it doesn't surprise me because even without this, he did not want to walk through his shoulder the way I was asking. So you need to be ready to move.
Yeah.
No confidence in his right eye. He doesn't even want me to get on that side. So I'm just going to be here until he lets me on the right side. Right? And he's coming back and thanking me for that. So we want to try that again. And I do want to try and get him to understand the body. Good. So that this helped overcome that emotional block. And that was nice. Has some resistance, and there's some emotion involved, but that was nice. Now let's go to the other side. All I want is 1 or 2 steps. I don't want a whole bunch right now. Just a try. Just a, oh, I understand. Or is this anything close to what you want? So, okay. And I want to get him to straighten out a little bit more eventually, but at the moment he's still a little nervous. So I'm just going to keep traveling here, but I don't want to go so far that it messes him. So when he slows down, I got to just track slowly. So he got stuck. There. A little bit of extra energy breaks that dam. Whatever's blocking that nervous system doesn't allow the signals. So what's happening is all the emotion in his mind is sending a signal down, and it's running into the signal that needs to come back to be filtered. And so they smash into each other, and he either locks up or blows up. Sometimes both. So instead of overwhelming him, I just try to get something and reward the try. Now he's pretty energy sensitive, so we're going to be able to start doing some really cool stuff here pretty soon. And I want to keep the flag out of the picture if I can, but add it, not to add fear and add emotion. How do I explain that best? We want to use it to relieve fear, not add fear, right? So, yes, I might push him out of his comfort zone with it, but we're doing it to release the emotional aspect of what's happening here. So we're using his fear to his advantage by showing him it's unnecessary. We're not scaring him into doing something. We're showing him that he's wasting his energy being scared because there's no need to be scared. This is not going to hurt him. It's not going to do any. This is just, we're asking for something. He doesn't see it, so we say, hey, come on, you can do it. Help him overcome that fear of the try, right? And so basically we use just enough added energy to create a fear that's equal to the fear he's feeling, so he can choose which one's better and easier. And then he realizes that both were unnecessary. Right? You understand? Taking notes? Right? And so now even a big flick like that is not getting any rise out of him because... So here, I might follow that hind end now and see how, until that front end starts coming to me, because I'm pushing on the hind and I'm drawing the front. If he's shying away, finding the end of the rope, he's not getting it. So I continually hold that level of intensity until he figures things out. I don't want him to emotionally extend to the outer reach, and then I want him to be able to come to his conclusion in the midst of it all, right? So let's go for the hind. Now he's drifting out. I'm drawing. He should be coming to me. So I'm going to keep putting there. It's starting to come to me. But the angle in which it comes to me is more out the front of the chest. When I can start seeing it coming more out the side of the shoulder, so instead of him circling back to me, he starts to look at me and then come to me with a direct step. That's when I know he's doing better. Right, so see how he's going out and around? I'm still drawing. Yeah, that was a little bit more of a direct step. Still forward out his chest, but a little off to the side. So, and so here I might send him out. And then ask him back. So I'm going to draw, push on that hip, draw. So you can see how the rope goes from being reasonably straight, not really pulling on me, but he's at the end of it. And then he slowly comes off and that rope gets nice and looped. So I want to go back and forth a bunch of times and kind of get him to understand in and out. That's out. This is in. In. So I'm adding extra. So he's still walking around me here. There it is. So now let's take him out. And take him in. Good. And out. And in. But he's got to move that hind end out in order to be able to come in. Out. definitely pulled me a little bit. I'm not holding the rope very tight, and it didn't slide through my hand, so he's not pulling too hard, but you notice my arm gave. I'm not going to try and hold him back unless I'm at the end of the rope, and I feel like he's not going to burn my hands, like before I let it go, because there was no holding that. And I don't try to keep them with me. I hold on so I can go with them. And if I can't keep up with them, I just let the rope go. So here, I'm just letting it be here in a space, having a conversation with him. He's overwhelmed by it. Okay, so we're going to ask him to stop. So I'm kind of messing with him a little bit because he didn't stop right away. Push on that hind end. Good. You see that step came directly towards me? I like that. That's good. And so, a little bit more, a little bit more. We'll just keep expecting a little bit more from him. So that little flick over here is just to stop him from going in that direction if he's not going to listen to it. So we send him out. Now that's more sideways than forward, so I'm going to increase the forward energy by coming from the feet up to the shoulder. Now he's pulling on me a little bit, and the rope is sliding. Stop. So there was just a pull and a release to say, hey, you're good, dude. Relax. So here I'm going to kind of mess with him down here in his blind spot, and I might even touch his chest with it. It's not saying anything because I'm not saying anything. The movement of this flag has no significance at the moment other than the fact that it's moving and making noises. Now it has a significance because my body's asking for something. So I'm going to come back to the hind, get a forward movement. Now I'm going to kind of tug on him a little bit, say, hey, where you going? Where you going? Can you move? Good. Move behind, move behind, move behind. Stop that front, stop that front. Move that hind. Good, good. And he's lined right up with me, right? So let's do that again. Take the front out, take the front out, take the front out. Now he's backing, but he's moving over. So I cut him some slack, and I was about to ask again, and then he started going forward, so I didn't have to. So I don't want to use it when it's not necessary, but I want to use it when it is necessary, and I gotta really get good at figuring out how much internal energy is getting bottled up, because that's the amount of energy I gotta use on the outside to get that dam to burst and let things start flowing. So here we're going to switch sides. Not how I want it. There we go. Okay, so that's going to go with my body. Add the flag. Slowly creep. Use more flag. He keeps trying to turn around. Notice I grabbed just to keep up with him. I did not try to pull him back. I don't want to stop him from going. I just want to be able to stay with him. So what I need him to do is get there. He's still wants me on his left. He doesn't want me there. Good. So this might take a few minutes. So I'm going to keep guiding him over here. I'm not going to stare at him. I'm looking at where I want him to be. And then I'm going to try and send him there. Good. And we're going to do that again. Good. Now he's overshooting, so I might push on that hip. I might say stop. I might even put it over here to say stop. You connected? Good. Can we go over here? Good. Can we stop? Good. Good. Good job. See, I'm hoping to be able to get to that where the flag never has to get lifted. So I'm going to try to hold back from using it as much as I can. But whenever there's an emotional so like right here, he's trying to avoid it. So I'll use it to say, you can't avoid it. It's going to follow you wherever you go. But there's nothing to worry about. Good. No flag, right? Good. So what I'm trying to get him to do is follow, there it is. I'm trying to get him to follow my pointer. So if I'm a little ahead of his nose, I want him to continue going forward. If I start working my way down his body, he needs to start bending. And by the time I get to his tail, he should think about starting to spin out and turn around or change direction. So I'm ahead of his nose. He should keep going. Keep going. He should keep going. Yeah. And now I'm going to stop facing the camera as I get down his body. See how it turns him? That energy is hitting his body, and as it works its way down, it just keeps swinging it out. No different than if you tied something to a string and you tried to pull it across a river. As it comes across, when it first starts, it gets into the main flow. The front end wants to go out, but then by the time it gets down and the hind end gets in, it just flips out and then wants to come back in toward you. And so that's kind of what we're doing. We're sending an energy out that he needs to redirect. So he goes out, he should go forward, he should go forward. If he doesn't, then I'm going to take this energy from his feet up to his head. Now he's going sideways. Yeah, that's okay. And now I'm going to just work my way down his body, and by the time I get to his hip, he lines up with me. Okay. So now we're going to pick up the pace a little bit. I'm going to change directions kind of quickly. And I'm still working kind of slow and easy, but I want to work in such a way that we're doing transitions so that he kind of, because it's the transitions that teach. He's not going forward yet, so we got to keep asking until we get what we're looking for. There we go, that's better. Now he doesn't want me on that left side. There we go. again, I got my down by the hind feet, and I'll flick it up towards so that it runs from the hind feet up into the ribs, up the shoulder, up the neck. I want to stop short of flicking dirt in his eye, obviously, but you know, we want that energy to go right out the forehead. And let's switch. And forward. Forward, he's not going forward. He's pulling on me a little bit. And so until we don't have this resistance, riding would be foolish. He's probably rideable, but riding would be foolish. You'll end up with all kinds of unnecessary, yeah, that was nice. You'll end up with all kinds of unnecessary shenanigans. And so when he can do this without this sideways and this bolting and this nervousness, so I'm just gonna overwhelm him some more and say, hey, what's the matter with you? It's talking. Do I have to yell? We had a hard time there, so I let him know. Just got to move over. That's it. Then we're going to push on that hip. Then we're going to say, just got to move over. Go forward. Go forward. Go forward. Good. Go forward. Push on that hip. Take that shoulder to the right. Gets through it, we cut him some slack, and he's sort of drifting, so yeah, that's better. Let's stop him. Let's send him to the left. I mean to the right. My left. And then we'll stop him and send him to his left. He doesn't want to go, so he's having trouble. He's gonna mess him. The noise of that truck, but whatever, the why doesn't matter. All that matters is I asked for something and he didn't trust me enough to do it. I want to prove to him that if I say let's do this, it's okay to do it, and he should feel very comfortable with doing it no matter what's going on. And so here he's having troubles. If he gives me a lot of trouble, I'm just going to go for the hind end. So we need forward. So I'm going to keep throwing energy this way. I got to drift a little bit so I can. So here I'm going to choke up a little bit, change the way I hold my rope. And I'm going to try and do a lot of stuff one-handed here, so that I can do faster transitions. Hind end, front end, front end. So he's having a little bit of issue. Good. Right, so now I'm going to transition to the hind. I'm in the right eye, so it should be easy to go. I mean, I'm in the left eye, so it should be, yeah, it just wants to go backwards. Hind end. Go left. Forward. hind end, hind end. So he's gonna run, so I'm gonna chase that hind end, chase that hind end, chase that hind end. I'm gonna bump, bump, bump. Now I'm in that right eye, left eye, so I can send him to the right. Doesn't wanna go. I'm gonna run to the hind to get him to go forward. And so here, I'm gonna just kinda have him do a little bit of lateral work, just so he can feel his muscles a little bit. And realize if he wants to go sideways, we'll work on that. He's telling me, well, I'd much rather go away from that. So I'm gonna show him, if I wanted you to go sideways, this is the energy I would be applying. But this, you know, we don't wanna do so much of this because you're gonna get tired. Your muscles are gonna start really filling up with blood. So why don't we do some forward work? Isn't that better? Right? And so when he realizes the difference between, he's going sideways, so I'm going to go sideways again. This is sideways. This is lateral work. And I'm going to just keep using the flag because it's overwhelming him, but it's saying something. So I'm going to use it in a way that's having a conversation, not in a way that I'm trying to desensitize him. So eventually I want to have him so sensitive that I don't even need the flag. But I want him to understand that anytime the flag comes out and makes a suggestion, he needs to do it without being overwhelmed at the same time. And so here, let's see if we can get forward movement. Still going sideways, but there we go, there's forward. So we'll stop. Good. So I'm gonna switch hands. And we're gonna do that same thing in this eye. So I really want forward movement, so I'm gonna try and get the forward, but if he drifts like that, then I'm gonna say, okay, fine, we'll work on that. If that's what you wanna do, we'll do it. Let's do some sideways. Now he's extra bothered by this, so I'm gonna kind of use it, but I'm only gonna use it a little and then build my way into it so that I don't get this emotional outbreak. I gotta find how much is too much. And so right now, this is enough. But every now and then I wanna flick it so that I can show him that it can flick without being bothersome, but yet we're gonna have that little extra emotion. So I gotta, each time, figure out where are we at. Can I do more? Right? And also I'm looking at what's happening. Because if you notice, the front end goes a lot, then the hind end goes a lot. We're not doing anything steady at all. Like right there, that's pretty steady. That's good. Nope, now he's going forward. Now he's kind of saying, hey, I'd like to go forward now, right? So we got to pay attention to that and say, okay, you want to go forward? Let's go forward. He's leaning on my hand, so I say, I thought you said you wanted to go forward. This is sideways. This is forward. No, you don't want to do forward anymore? Okay, that's okay. We'll keep doing this, you know? So even though he's avoiding, I'm still showing him I know what he's thinking. And when he starts to realize I know what he's thinking and it matters to me, that's when he's going to soften up and give me everything. Yeah, now he's doing real nice. So I'm going to see if he'll go forward now. No? Okay. We'll do more sideways. Let's do some more sideways. And so just that extra flick to kind of wash away any more inhibition that might be left inside there. Because the only way he's going to stop going sideways is if that inhibition goes away. And so here, I'm just going to follow him. Hopefully, encourage him to start going forward some. There we go. And I know this is burning. He's feeling this. Those muscles are getting pumped up. It's like doing 100 push-ups. Good. Good. So now I want to see if he'll go forward. Is he willing to go forward? Kinda. Good. I'm asking him to stop. Good boy. So little by little, we figure out what he's thinking, how he feels, and then we kind of just flip a few switches here and there to change the polarity of a few of those things, and his thought process changes, and he becomes a more quiet, relaxed, in the flow kind of a horse. But that's only going to happen when he believes in me. If he doesn't believe in me, he's still going to question everything. So there. Go sideways. Good. Out a little. More hind end. More hind end. More hind end. Thank you very kindly. Forward. Sideways. Hind end. Okay, so now the hind end's getting stuck. So we're going to do a little bit of front end out. Hind end out. Front end out. Hind end out. So yeah, I might keep tugging on him a little bit just to help, but I don't want to use my rope. So that's better. So let's go out. Let's walk straight. Let's go out. Let's take that hind end out. The hind end's still having a little bit of an issue, so I might choke up a little bit more and come right in. Hold my hand up and just get that hind end traveling free. And I'm just waiting to feel a little bit of softness in the neck and in the body. And I don't mean feeling it in my hand, sensing it. Like, see how stiff that is? You know, you can sense that emotion. And so whenever I see it, yeah, I see the head's coming down, he's starting to relax a little bit, he's still stiff in the pole. So we're gonna go a little bit more, get a little bit more hind end here. And then transition. And then hind end. See, when it's sticky, I'm gonna throw that flag up at him. And then let's go forward and away. Forward and away. Hind end. Hind end. Hind end. Hind end. No front. No front. Just hind. Just hind. There. Good bull walk. Okay, let's do that again. I don't want to do too much of it because I am sure his muscles are on fire. But I want him to understand. Okay, so I'm going to go to the other side, do the same thing. And if he has this kind of a relaxed vibe to him as we go through it and we quit, get to the end of this part of it, I'll probably end up quitting him. Take that shoulder, 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 shoulder. Good, good. See, he's got the softness now. Hind end, front end, front end. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. You're drifting. Let's go forward. Yeah, that's better. You're drifting. So we go to the hind end. Shoulder. Forward. Still drifting. Hind end.
shoulder, forward. It's a little better, but he's still drifting. So I'm gonna change what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna keep pushing on that hind end and drawing that front end until that left front right steps in my direction. That's good, but it's in a straight line. So I'm gonna come down and then draw it. I'm gonna come through and then draw it. Yeah, it's getting better. Come through and then draw it. And I can do it this way and just watch. But by me facing this way, his head comes to this side. So if I face this way, I can hold his head out where it belongs. And he'll come at me with his eyes. Instead of, like right here, he's gonna put me in his left eye, which is fine if I wanted that. So here, I'm just encouraging that front right to move. Now I want to put him out. I'm going to send him out. I'm going to stop behind. Encourage that front to move to the right. He doesn't want to go, so I'm going to choke up on my rope and help him with the tug. Good. 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 So we'll take him back through. Anytime they get dumb, you just make fun of them. Okay. So he's drifting a little too much. So I'm going to push on that hip, and I'm going to encourage that front end to move to the right. There we go. There we go. Take him back. If I get too much drift, I'm going to try and draw it. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to end up... Yeah, that's good. I like that. And then maybe I'll see if he'll do this without choking up. So he's messing with me, so I got to choke up. Let him feel that on his chin. There. At full freedom when he does it. Okay. So let's go over here. Push on that hind, push on that front. Good. Push on that hind, push on that front. Push on that hind, push on that front. Good. Now, everything's good except for what's happening up in the head. The footfalls are really going nice. But if you watch the head, I always say, what does the nose do? So watch that nose when I do this transition. Right here, it's not bad. Right here, it's not bad. This is where it falls apart right here. Oh, that was actually pretty good. Not awesome. But, you know, before he kind of like tipped out this way and was looking at me out of the back of his left eye. This time he kept me in more of the center of his left eye. A little bit more bend in his neck. He was just a little stretched out and his eyes were a little open, like concerned. And so we just want to work on that until all of that disappears. And we just want to reprogram all that inhibition. And you notice, like even now, he's starting to go into a rounded neck and a vertical face. I'm not pulling him into that position. I'm just washing away his inhibition. Once the inhibition and anxiety is gone, that will be his natural position because it's the most comfortable position to be, which is why it's the most desirable position for riding when you talk about different disciplines. So we wash away all that emotion and inhibition and worry. Get rid of it. When we do, we have a proper frame. Why is that? Because they're balanced. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. So I would like forward. There we go. And so even this position, he's crooked a little. He's reaching with his nose a little. But, so we push on that hip, push on that shoulder. And there we lost, you know, he gave that little weird look in his head, but it'll get better. A couple of days of this. Good. That was a much better transition. This is nice right here.
Ashley's here.
Somebody hit him.
Yeah.